Yeah, you're a good kitty. This is a quick little update on our garden. We bought these cucumber plants last Sunday. So this is Wednesday, what, 9 days ago, I guess? And they've really taken off, really grown. We put this fencing around it to keep the deer away from it. And we put that other thing leaned up there for them, like a trellis for them to climb on. So we got that. I finally found some cucumber plants. I had a terrible time finding them, but I finally found some. So we planted 2 plants over in the big garden, and then I wanted to try this little experiment in these containers to see if they would grow. And then up here on my deck, it has been so dry. I think probably all of you, most of you in the United States are, oh, they caught sight of bow. Most of you in the United States are dealing with the drought, and it has been so dry. The only reason why my plants look even halfway decent is that I water them every night religiously. I water them, and they need it every night. They're dry. My vertical planter is doing pretty good. I put a couple more of those cucumber plants that we purchased, sorry about the barking, in here. They seem to be doing really well. The things that I started from seed don't seem to be doing as good, but I just keep watering them every day, water them. That's the tomato plant. It seems to be doing really well. There's a tomato plant on that side. I planted 2 cucumber plants in the very top and then 2 in the very bottom because they vine, and I just kind of wanted to see, first of all, if they would do well in this type of a planter, and second of all, which would be the best place to plant them. It's like in the top where they vine down, or in the bottom, on the bottom where they just vine out, or I try to train them to go like up on the railings of the deck. Not really sure which is best, but like I said, it's just an experiment today, or this year, not just today. My pea plants are doing very good. They're growing like crazy. Again, I water these every night. I only have one lone little blossom. They're not flowering. So I don't know if this is the wrong kind of seed for that, if they're actually going to produce any pea pods, or maybe I started it too late. I know peas are supposed to be out early spring, but our spring was so cold that I really planted them as soon as I could outside. But this is another experiment that, you know, is yet to be seen. Oh, I do notice another blossom over there. So I don't know. I really don't know. I like this system. I like how they're vining up the tomato cages. So if I don't get any, like, very much vegetables off of it this year, I'm going to try again next year. I'm going to direct sow the seeds into the pots, and I'm going to start earlier in the spring, and we'll see if they can produce more vegetables that way. I haven't given up hope on them yet, but I would think they should be like full of blossoms by now. But like I said, we'll just have to wait and see what happens. It's a very big experiment. I'm doing a lot of experimenting this year. Look how dead our grass is. We didn't have very good grass anyway, and we can't water it, so it's just drying up into a brown mess. we have to spend all of our time watering our garden, not the grass. Here's Jenny's little resting spot, and all the flowers are doing really good. Like I said, I water every night to come out about 8 o'clock at night, and I give all of the plants a really good drink, because I didn't, you go through all the work to plant this stuff, and then because we're in the middle of a drought, everything would dry up and just die. So nope, I'm watering them, but I'm praying for rain. We have a like 90% chance on Sunday, but that's for like this whole area. The last time it rained, it got cloudy here and we heard thunder, but we did not get a drop. But they got a pretty good downpour just a few miles from us. So we didn't get a drop. We haven't had a drop of rain in 3 weeks, at least 3 weeks. Here's our potato patch. It's doing really good. It needs to be hoed. We need to get the weeds out of it. I water this every other day. I turn the sprinkler on and let it go for several hours. And we've had a pretty good turnout, like, of what we planted. Some are smaller than others, like there's a small one. These are all really small, but they're growing, and in every row there's some that's growing. So hopefully we'll have a really good potato crop this year. Our strawberries are doing excellent. They are bearing like a ton. I'm going to get out here just in a few minutes and pick all of these, and then I'm going to turn the sprinkler on them. I sprinkle these about every other day as well. Like, I sprinkle these on the days I don't sprinkle the potatoes, so that I'm not wearing our water pump out. Yeah, look at all those strawberries in there. So yeah, I'm going to go get a pan and I'm going to pick all these strawberries because they are looking excellent. I'll show you how many I get. Another big update is that Scott dug that chocolate vine out. It actually makes the side of the house look so much better, but I can see here where there's some more coming back. He's going to have to get in there and get that out. And it looks like some morning glories, volunteer morning glories, are starting to come up there, so I'll leave those. Eventually, I think this is the spot where I'm going to transplant those peonies, because they're just not doing good in the, well, it didn't start off as a strawberry patch when I planted those peonies there, but it's become the strawberry patch, and those peonies just isn't working out there. So I'm going to, probably this fall, I need to check and see when's a good time, but I want to wait till the strawberries are done to transplant the peonies. But I think this is where I'm going to put them. Hopefully they do well here. But yeah, I do notice some more of that chocolate vine. I'm going to have to point that out to Scott and see if he can get rid of it. It's just so invasive. That stuff is so invasive. Don't ever, unless you have a place where you don't care if it takes over, don't ever get what they call a chocolate vine, because it's a nightmare. And then he pressure washed the back step, and I think it looks really good. This morning I was digging through this shoe bucket to try to find my shoes so I could walk on the treadmill, and I've got to get this cleaned up. There are so many shoes in there, so full of sand, and winter boots. These need to go downstairs. So this is a job I want to get done today, and I need to get this entryway cleaned up. And we did get Bo a bed, because he spends every night in here now, but so far he's not really used it. He got into it once and then got right back out. So, he's been an outside dog his entire life. And so these creature comforts are foreign to him. He doesn't know what to think. But I think eventually, especially when it's like wintertime and it's chilly, that he'll want to sleep in it. But right now it's so hot outside. He wants to lay on this hard floor and stay cool. Yes, Oliver. Yes, that's got Bo's smell on it. But you know Bo. Why do you have to bark at him all the time? Why do you act like he's a stranger? Silly dog. this is how many I got. Beautiful. And there's still quite a few in there that I almost picked, but I think they could stand to go for another day. So we'll probably come out again tomorrow and pick again. I won't get this many tomorrow, and then there's a lot of green ones in there still. So we'll be picking strawberries for the next, maybe all summer, because these are ever bearers. So, all right, I'm gonna get the sprinkler on them now because it's dry. Dry, dry, dry. I'm gonna make a smoothie for my late breakfast, early lunch. It's 11 o'clock and I've only had that cup of tea today so far. So I'm gonna make myself a protein smoothie, strawberry banana. I'm going to use some frozen strawberries and also some of those fresh picked strawberries that I just did. I'm going to put in 2 scoops of this organic protein powder, unsweetened, and a tablespoon of chia seeds. And I'm going to use some of my oat milk creamer to thin it with, as well as some water. And I will add ice, and it's going to be thick. I like my smoothies more like a milkshake and not like a drink. I like it really thick, and so I'll probably add some ice as well. I am going to make a Southwest quinoa salad to go with our supper tonight, and it's a cold salad, so I want to get it made and in the refrigerator. I don't have all of the ingredients that the recipe calls for because it calls for a lime vinaigrette dressing. I don't have any lime juice, so I'm going to just use vinegar, and I'm going to make a vinaigrette. And I don't have cilantro that it calls for, but I do have parsley, fresh parsley, so I'm going to use that. So I've never made this recipe before, but it sounded really good. I already know Travis is going to hate it, but he can eat everything else and not this. I think the rest of the family will like it. In a small saucepan, or a medium-sized saucepan really, you are to put 2 teaspoons of olive oil, and then it calls for 2 cloves of garlic. I've already got this minced garlic, so I'm just going to put 2 teaspoons of minced garlic in there. And you just kind of saute this up just very, very, very briefly. really, when it just starts to sizzle, because you don't want to burn garlic, that's terrible, you're going to add 1 can of chicken broth. And 1 cup of rinsed quinoa. Ooh. It's important that you rinse the quinoa. It's a step you really don't want to skip. Then you just cook this according to the package directions. I'm going to cover it and turn the heat down and let that cook. While the quinoa is cooking in a separate pan, you're going to add another 2 teaspoons of olive oil. To this pan, you're going to add 1 can of corn drained, 1 can of black beans rinsed, drained and rinsed, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, half a teaspoon of cumin, and you're just going to saute these vegetables till they're kind of browned. The corn and black beans are sauteed. You just kind of want them to get just a little bit golden and thoroughly coated with all the spices. The quinoa is done. I just need to let this stuff sit here for a few minutes and cool off. And I don't want, because I don't want to make the rest of the ingredients soggy. I want to keep the onion crunchy. So I'm going to let this stuff cool for maybe 15 minutes, and then I'll bring you back and we'll finish this up. The quinoa and the vegetables have been cooling for a while, so before I mix all this together, I'm going to start the dressing. And the dressing, like I said, it called for lime juice. I do not have any lime juice, so I'm going to use apple cider vinegar. And it says calls for 3 tablespoons of lime juice, but I think I'm just going to use 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And then if I need to, I will add more. So I don't know if they have the same acidity level or not. There's 2 of that. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. One tablespoon of honey. One teaspoon of chili powder. Half a teaspoon of cumin. And these are the same flavor that were in the, in the vegetables that I sauteed. Salt and pepper to taste. Put like half a teaspoon of salt to start with. Half a teaspoon of pepper, a pinch of red pepper flakes, Now if you wanted this to be really spicy, you could add some jalapeno, which I don't have. It also called for red bell pepper, which I don't have, so that's not going to be involved, you know, in this. So I'm just going to go ahead and mix this together. And I'm going to add the quinoa and the vegetables to this. Hopefully this bowl is big enough. Up really well. I can see how the red pepper would add a nice touch with the red color of it, but like I said, I don't have any, so we're just going to omit it. And now to this I'm going to add some red onion and some fresh parsley. So let me get that chopped and added. Parsley. I actually had wanted to grow cilantro in my garden this year, but I couldn't find a cilantro plant at the greenhouse, so I went with parsley instead. But I think cilantro would have been better in here. I think cilantro is one of those things that you either love it or you hate it, and I really like it. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stir this in, and I'm going to just judge if I need to add more onion or not. It looks like it looks pretty good. I think I am going to add just a little bit more onion and a little bit more parsley. But before I do that, I'm going to give it a taste test and see what I think. That's very tasty. It's got enough spice, but it definitely needs more salt. Add some more salt. I think it's got enough parsley. I think it just needs just a little bit more onion. The dressing is really good. It's not too sweet, it's not too sour. Let me put a little bit more onion in there. It's got just enough heat with that, the chili powder and the red pepper flakes. Even if you didn't like anything spicy, this is not, it's not hot at all. In fact, I would probably like it a little bit hotter, but my family's not real big on super spicy things, so I try not to put too many red pepper flakes and stuff. Yeah, that's going to be delicious with our grilled. We're going to have grilled chicken. Well, I'm going to bake it in the oven, unless Scott wants to cook it on the grill. But this would be delicious as a side dish with our meal tonight. Yum. Well, good morning, everyone. Hopefully this isn't too bumpy. It's Thursday morning, and I am on my way to the spine and joint place. My back has just been bothering me so much that I just can't take it anymore. And so I'm going, for the month of June, I have to go twice a week. And then after that, I think I'm just gonna keep it at like every month. I'm gonna go and have my back tweaked once a month, because my back injury is never gonna go away, and I just have to keep it limbered up and everything. So anyway, it's not very good idea for me to film myself and drive. So I was gonna do this before I left the house and I ran out of time. So anyway, I'll catch back up with you when I get back home. Hi, buddy. How are you? How are you doing? Yes, he was in the house again last night. Let him out this morning when I went to do chores. I'm gonna go turn on the sprinkler on the potatoes. And I'm gonna go get some lunch. It's a little early, but I'm hungry. We got one of these easy attach things, but it takes 2 hands. So I'm gonna have to put the camera down for a minute. It's going. And believe it or not, it'll reach all the way over here eventually. So here's my lunch. Some of that quinoa salad with some of the grilled chicken chopped up on top, and some green tea. And actually, it's not that early. It's noon. I didn't realize it was noon. So no wonder I was hungry. Well, I thought I'd sit out here on the deck and chat for just a bit. It's such a beautiful day. It's 70 degrees and you can see the breeze is blowing, and it's just gorgeous. Now we definitely need rain. Definitely need rain. So I would much rather be inside the house talking to you with the rain coming down out here. To be quite honest, that's what I would prefer. But I thought I would come out here. I'm using my selfie stick, and I don't use this thing that often because it feels like I'm wobbling all the time. If you guys have a tip on how to keep from doing that, let me know. Maybe it's just practice. But yeah, I don't want to chat for too long because then this video will be too long. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about some minor changes that might be happening on the homestead. We've had some sad stuff happen in the last, I think it's been 2 months. This is June. Yeah, last 2 months we've lost 5 chickens. You knew about the 3 that the raccoon got, and then Virginia. Well, then yesterday, old Blackie, the one I was calling Blackie, she died. And it was very sudden. She didn't show any signs of being ill. Day before yesterday, Olivia said that she was acting a little bit, maybe a little different, but nothing super. But then yesterday, she died, and we were trying to figure out how old she was, and she had to have been at least 9. So all of my chickens, my golden chickens, the one I call Goldie, and the black chickens that I've had, we got all at the same time. And so the average lifespan of a chicken is 8 years. And so I guess it's to be expected that they're gonna start dying. And the ones from the raccoon, that was a horrible thing. That was just a horrible situation. If the raccoon hadn't have been here, we'd still have those 3 other chickens, I'm sure. Ooh, I just saw a Baltimore Oriole. Oh, Ooh, up in the oak tree. You're not gonna be able to see if I switch the camera around, you're not gonna be able to see it. I need to get a Baltimore Oriole feeder. Beautiful bird, the bright orange with the black head. Anyway, got distracted. Oh, air conditioner's cycling. It's so beautiful today, it doesn't really kick on. Just checks the air in the house and then shuts itself back off. And I was sitting here, my hummingbird feeder is just right here, like 3 feet away, and a hummingbird came, but my feeder's empty. I need to fill it. They must really be coming and drinking a lot. I don't see them that often, but I don't stand around staring out the window either. So, but anyway, so that's another thing I'm going to do this afternoon. As soon as I get done chatting, I'm going to go fill the hummingbird feeders. But, so now we're down to 2 ducks and 1 chicken in our back coop. And I had been wanting to get more ducks. I love them. I actually love them more than chickens, and I really, really love chickens. I couldn't really get my family on board with it because up until yesterday we had, well, up until the coon attack, we had 5 chickens out there with the 2 ducks, and now we're down just to 1 chicken. And so anyway, the coop back there needs some attention. It needs to be redone. Sorry, this is so wobbly. It needs to be revamped, some improvements made, some repairs made. And so I was talking with Scott yesterday. Now I'm seeing a hawk up in the sky. My goodness, there's birds everywhere. And I think we're going to do that. We're going to start making some, I don't know what the word is, repairs, revamp, a facelift, I guess, to the coop in the backyard. And next spring, unless something happens, I'm gonna get some baby ducks, which I'm super excited about. I'm really sad that we lost our chickens, especially in the way that we did, but I'm excited for the new chapter of getting ducklings. So yeah, so be looking for that, hopefully next spring. What else has been going on? Not a whole lot. Poor Olivia, she's been not feeling great since Sunday. I was just checking my weather app, and it says we're in a air quality alert. So if you have respiratory problems, you're not supposed to be outside. Now our sky looks very clear and blue. Well, I guess maybe it's a little bit hazy, but I guess there's been a fire. I'm just like, I don't watch the news, so I'm really behind the times, but I guess there's been some fires in Canada, and it's really affecting the air quality all over the place. But we don't know if what Olivia has is a cold. She doesn't not run any fever at all. She just lost her voice and has a really like croupy cough, and just feels blah, sleeping a lot. So I don't know if it's allergies or what it is, but I told her she's got to get better by tomorrow because one of the little towns nearby is having a strawberry festival. They have it every year, and our church has a booth there, and we are scheduled to work the booth tomorrow evening. So I told her she's got to hurry up and get better so she can go to that. Yeah, I think that's all really that's been going on. Oh, I wanted to thank you guys so much for all of your kind words and condolences for our my aunt that passed away she passed away 2 weeks ago, but her funeral was last week. Thank you so much. That means a lot. You guys are extra special friends, and I appreciate the condolences. She was a special aunt. She was a really special friend to my mom. She and my mom were really good friends, and so when I found out she'd passed away, my first thought was, oh, she and mom are having a nice long chat, and they're together again in heaven. So as much as we'll miss her on this earth, she knew Jesus and loved Jesus, and so we know where she's at. So when you have that kind of faith and assurance, it's never really goodbye. It's just see you later, and so we will see her again. So But thank you so much for those condolences and kind words. It was meant a lot to me. So, all right, I think I'm going to go ahead and go back in. I'm going to get the hummingbird feeders filled, and then, as much as I don't need them, I want to make some oatmeal scotchies. Olivia and I love butterscotch, but it's really hard to find dairy-free butterscotch, and I finally found a source for some butterscotch baking chips. And so I want to make some oatmeal scotchies with them and see if they're any good. So I'll catch you back inside. I know you can just make your own hummingbird nectar, but I had this in I found it in my box of bird stuff, and so I just want to use it up. There's just enough there. It says to use 1/4 cup for every cup of water. And I've only been making it 1 cup at a time because otherwise it gets, you know, can get like rancid or whatever. So I don't want that to happen. I've got my big roaster pan out here. I really love this roaster pan, but it's big, so whenever I use it, I only use it when I'm like gonna cook like 2 chickens or a turkey, or so I had a couple of pork roasts in the freezer, and I thought, well, I'm just gonna cook both of them up in this roasting pan, because if I'm gonna dirty this roasting pan, it's gonna have a lot of food in it, and that'll last us for several days, and I might even probably put some of it back in the freezer once it's cooked. Another thing I did that's really worked is I took my cooking spray out and I just sprayed the shepherd's hook that this is hanging on, sprayed it really good with cooking spray, and it has kept, knock wood, it has kept the ants out of it. I always had such a problem with ants in my hummingbird feeder, and so far it's worked. Of course, we haven't had rain in 3 weeks, so if it ever rains, I'll have to spray it down again. But anyway, in the meantime, it's really working well. I forgot I didn't have the camera on. I put an egg in there and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. These are the dairy-free butterscotch chips that I found. I got these off of Amazon. Ooh, they smell like butterscotch. They look like butterscotch. Let me taste one. They taste like butterscotch. I think these are going to be really good. And this is where I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed spending the last couple of days with me. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Every thumbs up and every comment helps my channel out, and I really appreciate it. We'll talk to you later, friends. Bye-bye.